Hi everyone, during Lent I was reflecting on what it means to fast and to find out what God has to say to me through fasting. I think in the past I have been, in the times that there are days of obligations for fasting, I've been doing it but not really understanding what it truly means and to just listen in to hear what God has to say to me. I'm sure there are many different reasons why you can find it on the internet on why you should fast, but I think finding their own personal meaning and their own encounter that teaches your body why you are fasting rather than just head intellectual knowledge is something that changes your conviction on why you fast and your whole understanding of the topic. One thing to know in the mind, but another thing to teach your body, right? In terms of smoking, we know that smoking is bad, but people still smoke. But maybe when you get lung cancer, that teaches your body that smoking is bad. So your body and your intellect is in union, and when that union happens, that comes conviction. So I think to find out the true meaning and teaching my body what fasting means, I took this reflection and here's what God has spoken out to me in the different experience that I have. So I was showering, the day had almost ended, and that there was this innate desire for me to feel complete again, to go back to equilibrium, to eat and to bring myself back to full, to feel full. None of this never really bothered me because I could fulfill this desire easily by getting food, getting a snack. I think this hunger for food to me that day revealed to me something more than this hunger being just a physiological effect on your body. What I experienced was my body's longing for food, but the inability to satisfy that need reminded me of what about the people who desire love, our innate desire and need for love, but those people who cannot satisfy that need. I was already so uncomfortable not being able to satisfy my hunger, and that is pretty easily being satisfied, right? Because I can just eat food, and it bothered me so much. But what about people who could not satisfy their hunger for love? Yeah, I think that was what God's message was for me that day. Worse is, the world tells you that this hunger for love is something that you don't need or you cannot vocalize out because it's embarrassing. This desire felt bad, but I knew that, okay, tomorrow fasting is over, I can go get food. But what about those people who don't have this assurance for love? Out of your will, where you're put in a situation where you have to fast from love. What about these people? Where is their hope? My hope is probably eating food tomorrow, right? Getting a snack, my next snack. I think the deepest desires of our body and soul is to be loved, to feel love, to receive love. But what happens when that cannot be satisfied? I don't think it's that easy as just reaching into a fridge and pulling out bread to eat, right? And I think that helped me to finally understand through the teaching of my body understanding, linking with my head, knowing that what Mother Theresa said about the hunger for love is greater than the hunger for bread. And I knew that in my mind, right? People have said that before. But when my body felt that hunger and I related it to my mind and then linked to the hunger for love, that made sense. That helped me to understand with empathy. So what happens when our soul's desire for love but doesn't get it? It gets depressed, it gets sad. But sometimes it's not very easy to identify that, I'm lacking this, I'm lacking love. Plus the world tells you that love yourself, you are enough in yourself, do what makes you happy, and as if you have got everything together. Not all the time can we get love, right? We live in a broken world. Sometimes the love that we get is imperfect, is broken, not the right person, not the right time, everything is not right. Thinking about it, that's like eating moldy food when you're hungry, expired food when you're hungry because you have no choice. Not all the time when we need love can we find it, and when it's found, it might not even be the right one to nourish our souls. In that love that brings us back to equilibrium, back to at peace, that restlessness when I was hungry, right? To bring that desire for love back to equilibrium, to fullness. Many people in the world out there struggle in terrible situations of famine. But I think even worse, many people out there suffer from being unwanted and unloved. The inner desire of the heart to be loved, but never satisfied. I think understanding this helps us in bringing the good news of Jesus Christ to the people around us. He says to bring His good news to the people and to love them, to love your neighbor. And to bring Jesus Christ is to bring love, perfect love that brings us back to equilibrium. While traveling in Germany, my friend went to watch soccer at the Allianz Arena, Bayern Munich, I think. Yeah, I don't really know that well. So I got on a train and went to Austria, Salzburg, and we're walking around. I stayed there, it was really nice. I stayed there after 1, 2 o'clock where the day trippers and all the tourists go away. So you get to see really the life that is going on there, how the locals actually live. It's just like living in a tourist spot, right? Everyone is bustling in the morning, everyone goes home, and I was just still there walking around looking at people watching. I think it was really, really, really nice to see their life minus all the crowd. I think when I was walking out of the Salzburg High Castle, Hohen Salzburg Castle, I walked down and I saw this old lady sitting by an arch of a building, and she was draped in cloth, and she was sitting on the floor, sitting on cardboard, and she held a McDonald's cup, and she was asking for money, I presume. And she looked really sad there and alone. But you know, common travel wisdom, don't give money because you don't understand the culture. Everyone will come after you. Don't give money because it might be a scam, right? So I, of course, walked along, carried on my day. I moved on and passed by an elderly lady again. Then I was like, okay, these people know where the best spots of the tourists will be, right? But another lady came over and gave her some coins, and the elderly lady's face lighted up, the beggar, the lady asking for money, and she grabbed onto the hand of the lady who gave her the money and kissed her hand and smiled, thank you so much. And she didn't want to let go. And the lady who gave the money felt a bit embarrassed, and she was like, okay, I want to just carry on my life. But I think that really struck me, you know, when the lady got onto her knees and held her hand of her giver and kissed her hand. I think there was something very special about this, and it made me also kind of realize that what that lady was giving wasn't just money. She was giving love. To notice someone sitting by the road. How many tons of people have walked by and nobody cared about her? Ever go out in a big group of friends and they all walk in twos and you're only one standing there without a pair to talk to? Imagine that, but the entire world walking by you and not seeing you. I think even if it's a scam, the loneliness to just be there, to be the embarrassment of the world, just by yourself, I think that hurts our desire to be loved. And I think giving money really isn't the important thing. It's giving our love to them, to these people. And that extrapolates into us being a disciple of Jesus Christ, right? To spread the message, to spread the good news, to bring love to these people. People who aren't even able to visibly show that I need love, to be sensitive to that. Reminds me of the story of Lazarus outside the gate of the rich man's house, and the rich man never saw him, never took notice of him, but he was there. Maybe let us not turn our hearts away from these people that we see at our doorstep in our daily lives. Let me pull out the quote. I really love it, but it's quite long. It's on my parish, one of the posters, and it's really nice. People, if you're honest, people may cheat you. Be honest anyways. Give the world your best you have, and it may never be enough. Give your best anyways. And it's a whole list of, not really a list, but a whole rhetoric. And it ends off with, for you see in the end it's between you and God. It was never between you and them anyways. I also think of the starfish story where the boy was throwing starfish into the ocean, and the old man come to ask him, boy, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? And the boy said that, oh, they will die if they are on the beach left up to dry. And the old man said there are tons of them being washed up onto the beach. And the boy picked up another one, tossed it back into the ocean and said, it made a difference to that one. Have a blessed week, friends. Thank you all for joining me.